For this first sheet, you are finding the square. So you are taking that number and multiplying it by itself. So like for this one here, let's see, let me get a text box. They were able to take 6 times 6 to get the answer of 36. Okay, so that's what you need to be doing for this one. You're taking 14 times 14 to get your answer. 12 times 12, okay? The mistake most people make is taking the number and timesing it by 2. We are not doubling it, okay? We are squaring it. So we're taking the number times itself. So this one, 10 times 10, 13 times 13. That's what you're doing for this worksheet. Okay, kind of the opposite operation of squaring a number is square rooting a number. So they've already taken some number and multiplied it by itself twice to get this answer here. We need to undo it. So to undo a square root, we need to use this in our calculator and press second, x squared, and then the number to get that answer. Okay. Also, if your calculator doesn't look like this, if it has this square root button, okay, that looks like this, you can just press that as well. Okay, so on this one, I'm saying what number times itself equals 169. Okay, so I can write that as, use the number x. Confusing, let's use another number. Say like c times c equals, okay, and we have the number of 169. So I need to square root 169 to find that answer. When you do this, you should get the answer of 13. Okay, all of this is really heavily using your calculator. You should be able to find one online if you don't have one in front of you. Also, for me on my phone, I was able to kind of turn it sideways to get that big calculator, and I have that square root button on there as well. Okay. Next, your notes are going into Pythagorean theorem, okay? So you have your information here, okay? Your sides A and B are your legs. Across from it, C is your hypotenuse. Your hypotenuse is always going to be across from this 90-degree angle, okay? It's the longest side of your triangle, okay? On here, we're using this formula, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, okay? So we're taking those, what we just learned above, and applying it here. Okay, so if we can see, we have these 3 numbers. You're trying to see, could this be the right triangle? If we do this formula, does it equal out? So I type in my calculator, 8 squared plus 15 squared, and I get the answer of 289. I have to square root that to figure out if that equals the 17. Okay, so when I do that, I have 289 and 289. They do match up. Okay, as you see on number 2, I went through the whole process and I saw that they do not match up. So no, those are not a right triangle, side lengths of a right triangle. Okay, so you can do the same here for 3. All right, so then you can see at the bottom 2 here, we walked through another problem. My sides A and B, my shorter sides, so I took 8 squared plus 7 squared. I got that answer, and I had to take the square root. Notice I have this little information for you for what you need to press in the calculator. Second, x squared, 113. Okay, so those are just some review problems there that they're going through. Hopefully you have this version when they're walked out as well. Okay, so then when we get to this note page, we need to start filling it in. Okay, a right triangle. These sides are called these are the legs of the triangle. So you're typing right here, legs. This angle is 90 degrees and is also called the right angle. And then like we talked up above, the hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle. It is opposite the right angle. Okay, see how they are across from each other? They are opposite. Okay, so you have those words right here. You just have to fill them in. And then down below, you are labeling an H on the hypotenuse. So what is the longest side? What is across from the right angle? So if I look here, I see that this is the right angle. Oh, that's really big. And so this side length here is the hypotenuse. Okay, this whole side length here, that's the longest side. If I come over here, okay, I see that this is kind of like my L. It makes the L, so that must be my right angle. Across from it is my hypotenuse, my longest side. So I'm marking it with an H. So that's what you're doing. You're looking for where that L is. So I can see here, I can make that box. Across from it, that's my hypotenuse. That's what you're doing for that section. Okay, down below, finding area. So you're counting the squares and putting that number here. Okay, again for down below. If you notice, you will see if you take the number across and multiply it by the number down, you will get this area, okay? That's the same thing as squaring something. You take the number across times the number down. That will give you the total number of boxes there, okay? This is just another way to prove that. You're counting the boxes, seeing how many there are. It just proves to you that this does work. This Pythagorean theorem does work here. Okay, I'm going to stop there and make another video for the next section for you. Thanks. Hope this helped.